Hi friends, this is Bijou Baker. I'm Maria. We're just going to dig in today. Today is part 2 of the gingerbread house. The hardest part was doing your pattern. So if you buy it or find it somewhere else, you're already ahead of the game. But at least now you know how to make your own design. And that's up to you how detailed you want to go. So I'm just giving you the basics. This is quick. This is a quick video. I'm just going to make the dough, chill it, bake it. That's all I'm going to do for now. So let me show you my ingredients. All right, we've got 5 cups of flour, 1 cup of sugar, 1 cup of shortening, 1 cup of molasses, 1 egg, 2 tablespoons of vinegar, white vinegar. Sorry. And with my dry ingredients, I've got 2½ teaspoons of ginger, 1½ teaspoons of cinnamon, 3/4 of a teaspoon of clove, 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg, 3/4 of a teaspoon of baking soda, and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do, of course, is combine all my dry ingredients. And that's essentially what you do with any cookie. You always want them combined well and ready to rock. Without making a mess. And, you know, it does matter. It really does matter that it gets mixed well here. So on this, I will take a little extra time to do it right. And when I'm spinning it here, I'm kind of really just incorporating it all the way to the bottom and bringing up the bottom to the top. I know you know that. But that's the best way to incorporate these ingredients. The first thing I'm going to do is combine my shortening with my sugar. This is a fat I'm going to use. The butter, the butter doesn't let it hold its shape. Shortening will do that. So I'm just going to mix this until it's well incorporated and a little bit fluffy. It's not going to be butter light and fluffy like cookies, but it'll be nicely incorporated. And as always, you want to scrape the bottom so that it continues, and take it off here because you don't want the bottom to be nice incorporated and have chunks of shortening or anything up here. So scrape and scoop and scrape and scoop. It looks and feels kind of like wet sand. Nice, and it clearly, it doesn't take long. And then I'm going to add the molasses, and this part is just going to be gooey. In my move, I have misplaced my adjustable measuring cup. Boy, at times like this, I really miss it. All right. going to add the vinegar. And my egg. And scrape. If you watch my videos, you know that this part here is absolutely vital to getting up all that stuff. Because even sometimes I might forget, and then when I pour out my batter or mix or whatever it is, I see chunks left on the bottom, and I just get so mad at myself because I know better. And up here, you see the white chunks. Well, I don't want that. I want that in my dough. However, when the flour comes in, it'll get incorporated. So one more whisk. That's nice. Can you see the color? It almost looks like brownie mix. So, sorry, I'm fighting a cold here. I'm just going to scoop in the flour a little at a time. And mix it. I do want to tell you that this is not the same recipe I used for my other gingerbread. That is more of a bread. It can be thicker and it rises and it's puffy. This is actually a perfect cutout recipe for cutout cookies. It's drier. The combinations together. Though the herbs and spices and stuff, really, they're essentially the same with any fall type dessert, pumpkin or that kind of stuff. But this is a better rollout. That's why I use it for the house. You can see, I don't know if you paid attention to the last video, but you can see that it's pretty good, nice and dry. And we're not even done. But all right. With this, I'll end up with a ball. You can hear the mixer working a little bit more. It's all right. It's tough. And once it starts separating and pulling from the walls, see how nice and clean the walls are getting? And you're about done. Perfect. Oh yeah, this is heavy duty stuff. Perfect. Almost feels dry, but I'm going to knead it just a little bit before I roll it. And I just want to get all this goodness off. I forget which way this goes. Oh yeah. That's dry. Not bad dry. It's a good workable dry. All right. All right, I'm just gonna knead it just to let it come to form. It's not gonna take much. Well, man, the person that invents smell-o-vision, let me just already tip my hat off to them. Gosh, if you can just smell this. Smell. Ah. All right. This is good. Now I'm going to use my usual trick on rolling it up. Okay, so I have it on my plastic wrap. I'm only going to do a half at a time, which means I want the other half protected. Protected from the air. All right. This part here will give me an oblong rectangle to work with. All right. Okay, and then I just start rolling. This part, you're probably tired of seeing me do this, but gotta do it. Okay, so this is as far as I'm going to go with this. Keeping your pattern in mind, you want to make sure that the pieces will fit. Now, I've got two of these, remember, so there's plenty. I've got one roof and a back. And then I've got my chimney pieces. Perfect. So I'm going to chill this. Overnight is best, but I'm going to do it for an hour. I don't know what happened. Okay, it's chilled. I'm going to show you how I keep from having to move my dough too much. Come look. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take off the back. Now that I say that, watch it fumble on me. Then I'm going to put my parchment paper down. And I'm going to flip it over. I'm actually going to flip it over. Okay. From here, I'm going to put it on my cookie sheet. That's it. That's the only moving I'm going to do to this dough. Mine is a little thinner than I'd like you to use, but and I'm under the belief that if I have to do 2 batches to do it right, I'm going to do 2 batches to do it right. But I think I'm set. Now, the chimney, because it's so much smaller, it's going to go on a separate cookie sheet because it's not going to bake as long. So I'm going to wait for that. And then I have decided that I'm going to make a little peephole in the roof so that I can have life inside. I do want to show off the inside, and that's a fun part to decorate. And I'm going to cut these out. One of those. I will do 2 of these. Let me see. And 1 roof. For me, the easiest way is just to use a knife. I've used pizza cutters before, but I'm just going to stick with what's easy. And I got to tell you, I do love cutting this because it's so satisfying. So obviously what I'm doing is I'm cutting all the horizontal lines at the same time. Then I'll switch my tray, and do the others. This is cutting it close. It's all right. So your leftover dough, I'm going to bring back one of these. Your leftover dough, now that's going to be great for your, if you wanted to make gingerbread men, or if you wanted to make ginger sticks, remember how I showed you? Anything else, but don't do it until your house is completely done. Well, baked. And even then, I'd wait, because a piece may break. You know, if this piece broke, rather than having to make a whole new batch, I could just use the extra dough here. So then I remove the dough, and my piece stays intact. I do believe I got it all. I just felt that break. I just felt that break. Rats, that's okay. That's all right. Actually, that is all right. Because this is a hole I'm going to make for the, to see. I gotta love it. This is a hole I'm going to make for the, for one side that they can see in. Since I'm not real certain how deep I want it. Now, if at this point you find that your pieces are sticking, put it back in the refrigerator. Let it chill a little bit more. So this right here is 1/2 of my roof, okay? Let me see if these are gonna play nice. Nope, I'm not even gonna test it. I'm gonna put it back in the refrigerator. After I take and separate, in fact, you can even separate after it's chilled more. Dough seems drier than usual, but I guess we're gonna have to test it out, right? And you know what? I think I am going to, I'm gonna monitor my cooking time. So I'm not going to separate the small pieces. Not always the smartest thing to do, but I'm up for a challenge. And you may be thinking, man, there's a lot of empty space that you can put other pieces on. Don't push it. Don't push your luck. All right, I'm going to chill this and then take the pieces off. Okay? Same process with that second batch. Yeah, I'm good there. All right, so I need one more roof. This one will be the full roof. This is really frozen already, so that's good. Not frozen, but definitely, you can definitely feel the difference. So one roof, the other roof is done, and I need the, all right, so they're all cut out. I used that extra dough, rolled it out again, and mismatched any pieces I was missing. So like I said, with the roof, rather than having two full ones, I have one full one and then one partial one, so that you can peek inside the house that way. Before you bake them, and they're already on the cookie sheet ready to go in, this is where you would put in your windows or anything you want to cut out. I'm not going to cut anything out. I'll do a front door. I'll do a front door. But everything else is, you know, going to be peeked through the roof. So it's gonna, I have it in the freezer for about half an hour. Then it goes in the oven, 350, and I'm just gonna monitor the time. The smaller pieces I'll take out first. Yeah, you want them to dry well. And dry means bake. The heat will dry them out. If they're too thin, they're gonna be very brittle. Mine are thin. If you're trying this for the first time, don't make them too thin, you're just gonna be discouraged. It's better to start off thick and get a winning look than to push it. Although, I always push it. So, all right, timer on. Oh, another thing. Okay, most of the icing here is gonna be white, snow. If you are going to use red or black, make your royal icing now, like a day or two ahead of time. The red and the black, it takes so much color, and don't use the liquid stuff in the store. It serves its purpose, but coloring food product is not one. It has so much water, and it's going to change the consistency and the flavor of whatever you're making. The gels that you can get at, I think, Walmart and Target, definitely Cake Supplies, and I think Michael's. It's a super red and super black because it takes so much color to get that vibrant red and black. If you put in too much, you're going to stain your tongue. So make it, let it sit for a day or two, and then the color will macerate and be the bold color that you really want, not a pink or a gray. That's not what you want. So get that done. There is a video. I just use a meringue powder that you can get at those other stores and follow those directions. I don't even have the container anymore. I buy it by a big batch, and yeah. Anyway, so make your icing before you even start this and let it sit. And you can keep it sealed and covered really well for weeks. So you're ahead of the game. And this dough can freeze for a couple months. So you really can get elaborate. Take your time and have fun. So these are ready to go in the freezer. And one of the reasons why I like freezing them is because then you can move them without messing them up in any way. And they're going to go just as they are, 350 for about 12 to 14 minutes. Okay, so my oven can hold several racks. I only use one, and I'll do smaller batches more often. It's just my comfort zone. Bottom cooks too fast, top doesn't cook enough. So, Alexa, cancel the timer. 15 minutes, that's what it was. All right, now I am gonna, wow, that was, I'm gonna make windows in one side of the house. So, and I'm just gonna use squares. I'm just trying to decide what size square to use. I think I'm gonna go, man, this is too big, this is too small, and it's actually the next nesting size. So I'm gonna go with a smaller one. And I'm just gonna eyeball it. And I am gonna bake that. What I did to take it out is I pinched it here. Okay, so I'm going to use these, but I'm going to cut them in half. What I'm going to do with them is I will have them as the shutters come up when they're put together. All right, and in the oven these go. Gingerbread trivia number 732. You don't decorate your cookie after your house after it's been assembled. Let me rephrase that. I don't decorate my cookie after it's been assembled. I decorate each individual piece first, let them dry completely, and then I assemble it. It's pretty, just so you know. Okay, batch number 1 done. They're nice and cool. You see how they didn't rise at all? I mean, they're still very perfectly flat. I'm gonna let them sit on this cookie sheet because, like I said, I want as much moisture as possible to dry out, to leave. So it's gonna stay here for a couple minutes. When it's cooled, then I can pick them up and make them pliable, but I'm honestly not going to move them much until it's time to decorate. Okay, they're all baked. I've got the last front piece in the oven. I cut out a door, baked that next to it, and I'll show you all that when it's done. But this is the dough for the most part, still hot. I am not going to touch this until tomorrow. They're going to sit, they're going to air dry, they're going to get harder, and then we play. Okay, That's it, my friends. Until next time. Oh, let me go back. You guys followed me on making the dough, rolling the dough, cutting the dough, baking the dough. All those things we did in just this video. So each and every one of those steps you can take your time to do. This dough is amazing. It freezes well. So you can start in October and make the dough and roll it out. Cut it out in November and bake it in December. I mean, take your time. That really is the most important thing with the gingerbread house. Take your time, do it right. If you mess up, already plan on making a second batch just in case. If you want a bigger house, you're going to need a second batch. But sometimes we push it, right? So try this first. And you know what? Try it with just graham crackers. Just assemble some graham crackers into a house and decorate that. That works. Okay, until next time, happy baking.
Ah, that was fun. Don't forget to like and subscribe.